Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Brian Donlevy in an episode of Dangerous Assignment, Espionage and Adventure. As Brian Donlevy heads to Tokyo in this hour, this was originally broadcast on February 18th, 1953.
Dangerous Assignment. Transcribed starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
Yeah, danger is my assignment. I get sent to a lot of places I can't even pronounce. They all spell the same thing, though, trouble. But when I walk into the commissioner's office, I don't realize this assignment's going to prove that sometimes the best way to win a fight is to get knocked flat on your back. Morning, Commissioner. You sent for me?
Steve, a serious charge was filed against us yesterday in Tokyo. A charge that's caused quite a stir among the Japanese people.
What's the trouble?
A doctor named Mitsuoko was kidnapped, beaten, held captive by some agency of our government operating in Japan.
What? Exactly what agency, Commissioner?
We don't know. Dr. Mitsuoko is unable to identify the office allegedly involved. This case is serious, Steve. It could damage Japanese-American relations.
Yeah, certain interest could use the incident to whip up anti-American sentiment.
It's already being used for just that purpose. Get over there, Steve. Find out who's behind all this. Set this thing straight into it fast. Well, that's it. You got your assignment. Good luck.
The National Broadcasting Company is presenting Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy in the role of Steve Mitchell, colorful two-fisted government agent. At all those places of the world where danger and intrigue walk hand in hand, there you will find Steve Mitchell on another dangerous assignment.
Sure, I've got my assignment. Get over to Japan and find out if a U.S. government agency was actually involved in the kidnapping of a certain Dr. Mitsuoko. If not, find out who rigged it. The incident contains enough potential dynamite to damage seriously the relations between the two governments, and it's got to be cleared up, but fast. It's early Friday evening when my plane lands in Tokyo. I check first with Major Conlon of U.S. Intelligence, and a half hour later, I arrive at Dr. Mitsuko's house in the suburbs. I follow a servant into the study and find the doctor isn't alone. Sitting close and balancing a large camera on his knee is a member of the local press.
Come in, Mr. Mitchell. Come in.
Good evening, Doctor.
Permit me to introduce Mr. Tanaji.
Hi, Mitch. I'm with the Yokohama Press. Got a good side?
Oh, what?
Your face, man. Right side or left side? I want to snap a photo.
Oh, well, I've been told the back of my head is my best side.
Oh, man, you're kidding. How about from this angle, huh?
Look, Mr. Tanaji.
Call me Jackie.
Okay, Jackie, let's skip the picture, huh?
Skip it, he says. Man, I got to get your fizz or my chief will blow his rocker. He'll flip his dolly. He'll be
Down, boy, down. Dr. Mitsuoko, I have some important business to discuss.
Oh, feel free. I already know the whole story.
Yeah, so does everybody else in Tokyo, it seems.
Please, do be seated, Mr. Mitchell.
Thanks, Doctor.
I'll start the ball rolling. It's Wednesday evening. Tokyo has settled down for the night. A car slides up to the curb and two sinister figures get out.
Down, Jackie, down.
Oh, sorry, just filling in the color.
Dr. Mitsuoko.
As Mr. Tanaji has said, it was last Wednesday evening. I was working late in my study here when the doorbell rang. I answered it. There were two men.
Both American?
One was American. He was dressed in uniform of your military.
And the other man?
Japanese. He was introduced to me as interpreter. They said they wished to ask me some questions, so I invited them in.
What sort of questions did they ask you, Doctor?
About my past, my family, political beliefs. Then the American said I was to accompany them to headquarters.
But he didn't mention whose headquarters.
No. As I had nothing to fear, nothing to hide, I was quite willing to go with them. There was a car waiting outside, an official car of your government, Mr. Mitchell. As I was about to step inside, I was struck on the head. When I regained consciousness, I was being carried into a house.
How long were you unconscious?
10 minutes, approximately.
Go on, Doctor.
I was led to a room in the cellar of the house and again questioned. They demand I tell them what I knew of the Blue Cord.
The Blue Cord?
Yes, secret society, Mitch. Political club, not so nice.
I had never heard of this Blue Cord. I told them that, but they would not believe me. They beat me.
I see. How long did they keep you there?
3 days. I was released after money was paid.
Money?
Gets real interesting, doesn't it, Mitch?
On the second day, the American told me he could arrange for my release, but a sum of money would have to be paid. $5,000.
How was this money paid out?
A note was sent to my family. The money was left in a package under the Sujito Bridge.
About this house where you were kept prisoner, would you recognize it?
Only what I saw within the house. A long, narrow corridor, a flight of stairs, and the cellar, yes.
Anything else? Like a particular sound of some kind? Heavy traffic noise from outside or a train whistle, anything like that?
No. Excuse me, Mr. Mitchell. Yes?
Mr. Mitchell, please. This is Major Conlon.
Oh, yes. One moment, please. For you, Mr. Mitchell. A Major Conlon.
Oh, Major Conlon. Army intelligence. Keen, sharp fella.
Thanks, Doctor. Yeah, Major.
Brace yourself, Steve. Looks like Mitsuoko wasn't the only one to get taken for a ride.
What?
Ito Sakatura, university professor. He was kidnapped, beaten, and held captive by 2 men posing as representatives of the U.S. government, released a couple of hours ago.
Oh, great.
He's sitting in my office now with a couple of Japanese government officials. You better come on down. They all look very unhappy.
Ito Sakatura's story is pretty much the same as Dr. Mitsuko's. Kidnapped victim number 2 was picked up by the same 2 gents, taken away blindfolded in the same car to the same house, and asked the same questions. Sakatura, however, was not held captive in the cellar, but in an attic room, and that, as it turns out, makes a big difference.
You're certain of the sound you heard, Mr. Sakatura? That they didn't come from within the house?
Yes, Major Conlon, I am certain.
A pounding noise like someone striking metal with a hammer, huh?
That is correct.
And then there was the odor of paint.
Unmistakable, Mr. Mitchell. That too seemed to come from outside the house.
Hammering on metal, odor of paint. What does that mean to you, Major?
Offhand, I'd say paint shop. The automotive kind, maybe.
Yeah. Mr. Sakatura.
Yes?
How long a ride was it from the time you were picked up till you reached the house?
15 minutes, I would say.
Let's look at the map, Major. Now, let's see. Where does Mr. Sakatura live here?
Right here, Steve. 15-minute ride from this point would be within the radius of this circle.
Now, how about Dr. Mitsuoko? He lives,
Here. So if he was taken for a 10-minute ride, it'd have to be within this circle.
Yeah. And you notice the 2 circles overlap right here. The house we're looking for could be in this area.
Awful lot of ground to cover there, Steve.
Well, let's make a stab at it. A quarter of an hour later, the Major and I arrive at the center of the area marked off on our map. We cruise around block after block, working toward the outer rim of the area, and the only thing that comes anywhere near what we're looking for is a garage on a quiet side street. Next to the garage is a large 2-story house. I go up and ring the bell. Things seem to start adding up fast when a tall, slender gent dressed in the uniform of an American officer opens the door.
Yes, what is it?
Hello, Lieutenant. Mind if I come in?
Maybe I do mind. What do you want? Who are you?
My credentials.
Oh, United States agent, huh?
Right. Like to have a little talk with you.
Okay. In here.
I'd like to look at your ID card.
Oh, sure. I don't seem to have my wallet with me. It's probably in there. My name's Gorman, Johnny Gorman, San Francisco.
What district?
Richmond.
That's what they call south of the slot, huh?
You don't know San Francisco, pal. Richmond's out in the avenues. Here's my card on the chair. Wallet's probably
I'll
in
get
the
it.
inside. Okay.
Yeah, here's your wallet. Card seems to be okay.
Look, what's this all about?
I'm investigating the Mitsuoko case. I guess you've heard about it.
Who hasn't heard about it?
And you know that one of the men who picked up Mitsuoko was dressed in the uniform of an American officer?
So?
So, don't get sore if I ask you a few questions. You live here alone?
Yeah, sure.
Pretty big house for just one guy, isn't it?
I suppose. I just didn't bother to move after the family left.
Family?
Wife and kids, they went back to the States a month ago. I'm due to go back myself in a couple of weeks.
You got a picture of them handy?
Yeah, in the wallet there. Help yourself. Okay, wise guy, on your feet.
Looks like I sort of let myself wide open for that one, huh, Lieutenant?
Yeah, you sure did. And you're wide open for a couple of slugs from this gun if you try anything smart. Now, just stand where you are. I've got a little phone call to make.
Steve Mitchell will continue his dangerous assignment in just a moment.
From February 18th, 1953, Dangerous Assignment on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues now with more of Dangerous Assignment, Japan, February 18th, 1953.
Now back to Dangerous Assignment and Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
Hey, look, Gorman.
Just stand real still while I'm making this call.
So, you're my boy, Lieutenant, huh?
Right now, I'd say you were mine. Hello, let me speak to Major Conlon.
Conlon, wait a minute.
Shut up. What's that? Oh, he's not in. Look, I've got a guy here who might tie into this kidnapping deal.
Oh, fine.
Name's Mitchell, posing as a government agent. He said... What? Are you sure? Well, describe him. Yeah, it checks. Sorry. Well, looks like I owe you an apology, Mitchell. They tell me at headquarters you're legit. I guess this Mitsuoko incident has made us all jumpy. He was grabbed by a guy posing as one of your representatives, and when you showed up, I guess I figured it.
Sure, no harm done, Lieutenant. But if you want to talk to Major Conlon, why don't you just turn around?
Hey. Hello, Gorman. Major Conlon.
Yeah, we came together. He's been standing in the hallway for the last 5 minutes.
So that's why you left yourself open for a poke in the jaw.
Yeah, sort of the hard way of finding out if you'd make a break.
Well, Steve, looks like this is a blind alley. Any more ideas?
I'm fresh out, Conlon. Let's go see Dr. Mitsuoko again. Go back over the whole story and see if we've overlooked any leads.
Yes?
We'd like to see Dr. Mitsuoko again.
Well, Dr. Mitsuoko not in.
Oh?
Was called away to headquarters again.
Headquarters? Hey, wait a minute. Who sent for him?
It was at request of a Mr. Steve Mitchell.
What?
Steve.
Oh, great. The kidnappers have him again. Come on, we'd better get to that second victim, Sakatura's house, before they grab him.
Here's his house.
Lights on?
Yeah. Maybe everything's okay.
It better be. Huh.
Mr. Sakatura. Mr. Sakatura. I don't like it, Steve.
Come on. Let's go around the side. Should be a window.
Yeah, right here.
Maybe.
Yeah, let's see. Hey, Steve. There he is inside.
Sitting in a chair.
With his head on his chest. Sakatura!
Get back, Conan.
Right.
Okay, come on. Watch the broken glass.
He's done for, Steve. Didn't even move when he broke the window.
Yeah, I know. There's no mark on him, though. I'll raise up his head, maybe.
Oh,
Hey.
He's alive.
One moment, please. Turn the volume up on my hearing aid.
Hearing it? Oh, fine. No wonder he didn't hear us. Well, that's a relief.
I was having a slight nap, and the window is all broken.
Yeah, it sure is. Come on, Mr. Sakatura. We want to put you in a safe place for the time being. And you're sure you haven't overlooked telling us anything that might give us a lead on the location of that house, Mr. Sakatura?
I've told you everything, Mr. Mitchell. Now, suppose you tell me something, please.
What's that?
Who is to pay for my broken window?
Hey, don't worry about that, Mr. Sakatura.
New window will stop Sakatura's worries fast.
We'll take care of it. Steve, the only thing we've got to go on is that hammering noise and the smell of paint. But so far, that's given us nothing.
Yeah, we must be wrong about it being an auto paint shop.
Yeah, but the hammering on metal, the smell, the sound of cars.
I know, but I figure the guys running this deal would be too smart to set up a shop near a place that could be traced that easily.
So?
So maybe the noise and the smell of paint were only a temporary thing, something that started after the kidnappers picked their headquarters.
Some kind of construction job, maybe?
Yeah, either that or a remodeling job. Look, suppose you let me out here.
Where are you going?
I'll grab a cab and get over to the area, start combing it again. After you drop Mr. Sakatura at headquarters, you can join me.
Right.
We've got to work fast. If they've got Dr. Mitsuoko again, it'll be a race to get to him alive. And that's one race I don't want to see end in a dead heat. I grab a cab and head for the area we'd marked out on the map. I cruise up one street and down the other. Time is slipping away. I'm getting nowhere. Then I spot something. A remodeled warehouse with a tin roof that would account for the sound of hammering on metal. In the warehouse is sporting a fresh paint job. Looks like I'm getting warm. I pay off the cab and start working the area over on foot. Yeah, there's a broken-down old house just on the other side of the warehouse. I ease around to the back. There's a shack. I go inside. There's a car hidden there, and it's got a U.S. government seal painted on the door. I hear somebody coming. I crouch back in the shadows. A big guy looms up, an American. I step out in front of him. Sorry, sweetheart. He crumples up fast. Somebody else scurries up. I dive at him and make a grab.
Mitchell!
Well. Tanaji, the boy reporter.
Let go.
No, we're going to have a little talk.
No.
Okay, suppose we bounce you off the car a couple of times. One. Would you like to try for two?
No, I'll talk.
You and this American stooge of yours were working the kidnap racket, huh?
Yes.
What was your pitch? Trying to create an incident and damage relations between our two governments?
Oh, no. We were just doing it for the money.
Well, then why the phony government car and your stooge in an American uniform?
Well, that way we thought the victims would keep quiet. They'd be afraid to tell about the shakedown.
I see. One thing I don't get, Tanaji. When I questioned your first victim, Dr. Mitsuoko, you were there making with the phony reporter pitch. How come he didn't give you away?
Oh, my camera. There was a gun in it, pointed at him. I came to warn him to keep quiet, and that's when you walked in.
I see. That's why you grabbed Mitsuoko the second time, huh? To shut him up.
What are you talking about? We didn't grab him again.
Don't give me that. His servant told us he'd gotten a phony call to headquarters again.
Well, I tell you, I don't know anything about it.
And where is he?
Right here, Mr. Mitchell.
Huh? Dr. Mitsuoko.
Yes.
Why the gun?
For obvious purpose, Mr. Mitchell.
Wait a minute. You and Tanaji rigged this whole deal together?
No.
I have been following you, Mr. Mitchell, hoping you would lead me to kidnappers. Thank you very much for being so obliging.
I don't get it.
It's really quite simple. Tanaji and his American friend kidnapped me, and as he would put it, it shook me down. I realized at once it was simple and rather amateurish extortion plot. But I also realized that here was my golden opportunity.
Opportunity?
Yes. To do something that I and a few friends of mine have been longing to do for some time. Drive a wedge between my government and yours.
I see. So you put up a big squawk about the kidnapping.
Exactly. And when the next victim, Sakatura, heard of my great courage, he did same. And thus, very innocently, helped me put fuel on the flames.
Bully for you.
And thanks to you, fortunately, I can bring my plans to perfect conclusion.
What do you mean?
My story will be that I was kidnapped again and brought here. I heard two of you quarreling over money. You fought and killed each other. Your dead bodies found together will give conclusive proof that a United States agent was in charge of the plot.
No, wait. Wait, Dr. Mitsuoko. Maybe
Stand back,
we can
Tanaji.
find-
I say stand back.
No.
The slug catches Tanaji in the shoulder. He staggers back into me. We both go down. On the way, I grab the electric wire and jerk the overhead bulb loose. I hit the floor, and so does the little light bulb. The shack's in darkness. Mitsuoko is shooting blind. I roll quietly under the car. I can hear him stalking me.
And the conclusion of Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy, from February 18th, 1953, comes up following these important messages from your favorite station. Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station. Here's Mike Lindell talking about getting your best friend something special.
And Mike, you've done it again. You've brought us an amazing line of dog beds.
This has been a long time coming. It starts with the same patented fill for your dogs now as we do My Pillow. I wanted everything covered in sizes from your largest dog to your smallest dog. You can throw them in the washer and dryer. The dogs love it. They asked, and here they are. This is why you get the dog bed. This is the main reason. The dogs love it.
And you've got that 10-year warranty, right?
I can do it because the dogs love it. They don't want to wreck their bed.
And you can get these MyPillow dog beds at a price lower than the big box stores, as low as $19.95. Call 1-800-928-4715, 1-800-928-4715, or go to mypillow.com/pet and use my promo code Wyatt. Treat your best friend to a MyPillow dog bed, mypillow.com/pet. Promo code Wyatt. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Dangerous Assignment, February 18th, 1953.
I hug the floor, then I spot the shadow of his legs as he works his way along the side of the car. I reach out under the running board, grab his ankles, and jerk hard. He hits the ground like a tree before he can recover. I've got his gun. Just relax, partner, while I take care of Tanaji. He's a lot more valuable to me right now because his confession gets my government off the hook.
My head.
Well, after all, you were sure trying to bring a lot of trouble to a head, Mitsuoko. I just thought I'd let you find out how it feels.
Our star, Brian Donlevy, will return in just a moment. When the recent floods brought tragedy and disaster to England, Belgium, and Holland, Holland was the country hardest hit. And right now, following this loss of millions of dollars worth of homes, land, crops, and livestock, the people of Holland need help desperately. And most of us are eager to do what we can to relieve their misery. Well, the best way for you to help is to make a contribution to CARE, C-A-R-E. CARE is an international nonprofit organization with a background of experience in relief. CARE already has completed all arrangements necessary to distribute whatever help is most needed by the flood victims of the Netherlands. Now, to help in the best way, send your check or money order to CARE. CARE, New York City. That address again, CARE, New York City. Your contribution by check or money order to CARE is the best way you can help in this century's most tragic disaster.
Next week, the Riviera. I make like a jewel thief.
And that will be Steve Mitchell's Dangerous Assignment next week. Included in tonight's cast were Paul Duboff, Sidney Miller, Rye Billsbury, Paul Frees, and Peter Leeds. This is John Storm speaking. Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell, with Herb Butterfield as the commissioner, is written by Bob Reif and Adrian John Doe, and is directed by Bill Karn. Be with us again next week at this same time when Brian Donlevy, starring in the role of Steve Mitchell, will embark on another transcribed Dangerous Assignment.
Brian Donlevy created Dangerous Assignment. He brought it to NBC. It was a summer replacement series in 1949 and then became full-time in 1950, running on NBC for its entire run. And it was also a television program which Donlevy created. I'm Wyatt Cox, and that's Dangerous Assignment, February 18th, 1953. Coming up next, we will have the soap opera Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. A quick word about the soap opera Claudia, which we air frequently here on Classic Radio Theater. It originated during the Kate Smith Hour. First episode aired as a part of the show June 6, 1941. And then that segment rolled on for a little while and ended up becoming the replacement for Kate Smith for the summer season of 1941. The show then went away for a period of time and was revived in 1947 with a new cast and a new sponsor, Coca-Cola. Now, the original series had Patricia Ryan and Dick Kollmer, of Boston Blackie fame, playing Claudia and David. Catherine Bard and Paul Crabtree play Claudia and David in this program, Claudia, as this episode, originally broadcast February 18th, 1948, somebody's got some new shoes.
David, do you notice anything different about me tonight, since dinner especially, I mean?
You're dancing around an awful lot.
Well, that's so you'll notice.
Well, let me see. Is it something about you? Your hair is different.
My hair is exactly the same.
You're sure you're not parting it on the other side?
The other side of what?
What do you think?
The other side is for men.
Well, I give up. What's different since dinner?
You've only looked at me as far as my forehead.
And your forehead is frowning. Have you got a headache?
No, not yet.
You're sure?
Positive?
Funny. You look as if something hurt you.
Oh, nonsense, David. Of things to wear, what do you like to buy best?
Neckties.
Neckties? I like to buy shoes best.
Shoes?
Mm-hmm.
I expected you to say dresses.
Nope. Definitely shoes.
Not me. I guess because new shoes aren't ever as comfortable as worn shoes, particularly when they're too small and make a person frown.
David, then you do notice.
Notice what?
Oh, I give up. I'm never going to buy another new pair of shoes as long as I live. I might be running around barefoot for all you care.
Oh, is that what you're driving?
Yes!
You bought new shoes. Where are they?
On the chandelier. Where do you think?
Well, that's a funny place for them, darling. Why don't you put them on?
I'm going to hit you over the head with one of them.
Oh, I see them. They're on your feet. One on each foot. Well, what do you know about that?
How I stand you, I will never know. I spent hours this afternoon arguing with that silly shoe salesman trying to be sure I got a pair of shoes you like. And you sit there rolling your head around like a rag doll talking nonsense.
How does a rag doll sound when he's talking nonsense?
Like you.
Tell me, darling, what is this shoe salesman like?
I won't tell you until you tell me how you like my shoes.
Oh, I like them fine. Now tell me about the shoe salesman.
You like them fine. You like them fine. You haven't even looked at them.
Well, certainly I like them. What do you want me to do, get a microscope?
You are impossible.
As a matter of fact, I think they make your foot look very small.
You do?
Mm.
That's what I thought, and that's what the shoe salesman thought, too.
So small that I think they must be too small for you.
They are not. They're perfectly comfortable.
They look awfully small to me. Too small. They look as if they're giving you a headache. I noticed that.
Oh, you and Mama. Every time I buy a pair of shoes to make my foot look decent, you tell me they're too small. They measured my foot. They fit me perfectly. I could walk around the world.
Well, you better get started. It's getting late.
Oh, David, you.
You sure they're comfortable? They're not, darling. You can tell me. I won't tease you.
David, if you say another word against them, I'll wring your neck. It's the vamp that makes them look so small.
The vamp? You mean like Dracula?
No, I don't mean like Dracula. The vamp like on my shoe.
Oh, that vamp. The one with no R.
And they were very cheap, too.
Where was the sale?
Taylor's. It was a... David, how'd you know I bought them at a sale?
I know my wife.
These are $22.50 shoes, and I got them for, guess what?
$21.50.
$12.95. I'd have been a fool not to buy them.
Well, it's worth it being a little small at that price, I'll admit.
David, they are not too small. I usually wear A, and these are double A. One little A can't make much difference.
You'd be surprised.
I would be, because the shoe salesman said that the last of these shoes ran wide.
The last what?
I don't know. What last do you suppose he meant?
Probably your last good pair of feet.
Very funny.
Seriously, darling, they're very nice-looking shoes.
I wouldn't have bought them if they weren't. Aren't you glad I didn't get shoes that are open-toed and open-heeled?
I wouldn't have married a woman who wore open toes and open heels. It's one of the first things I noticed about you way back when...
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. Those kind of shoes are fine for sitting. But after all, shoes are for walking, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Mm.
I feel very strongly that if you're going to wear shoes, you have to have toes and heels.
Certainly.
After all, what else is there to a foot but a toe
That's
and a
exactly what I
heel?
told the shoe salesman. He had a beautiful mustache and the silliest manner you'd have thought he was serving me French pastry. Do I have nice legs?
Not bad.
Not bad, is that all?
Pretty nice.
Shoe salesman said they were lovely in these shoes.
I'll knock his block off. They're lovely in any shoes, and you can tell him that for me.
I will. I'll go back there tomorrow and tell him. Look, I'm dancing on my feet. I feel as if I'm walking on air. These shoes are absolutely divine.
Well, I think we ought to take them out and celebrate. We can't spend the evening at home with you and your new pair of shoes. We'll take them out and show them the town.
Where'll we go?
How about going dancing? You just said that
Dancing? Oh, no.
These are dancing shoes, aren't they?
They are not. They're opera pumps.
Opera pumps. I will not go to the opera. We will go dancing.
They'll be ruined dancing. They'll get all scuffed and marked and ruined.
Are you hinting that I step on your feet when we dance?
No, I'm not hinting. You dance wonderfully, darling.
Well, if I say so myself, I do.
You do.
I should have joined the ballet.
Should have.
When I was 6 months, my mother said to me, Druska.
Druska?
That's what she called me, Druska.
I never knew that
You
about
must dance for the Tsar. You must be the finest dancer in the Imperial Ballet. You have angels in your feet, Druska.
And bats in your belfry, Druska.
Well, shall we dance?
David, you're a goop. I love dancing with you here in our pajamas and without my shoes on at all. But I simply loathe dancing in public.
You're shy, madame. I will give you the lesson, so you will have the confidant.
I am not shy. I just don't like being crowded. There's no place to dance in New York except on a postage stamp. And if you don't step all over me, everybody else will. So, I'm sorry, I won't dance.
Well, then, how are we going to celebrate?
Well, there's a Mickey Mouse at the corner and a Donald Duck, David, both of them for the price of one.
Are you sure?
Positive, I noticed this afternoon.
It's a plot. It's a plot. You noticed? Then you went out and bought the shoes, so I'd have to take you to the movies. You will probably even take them off in the movies, so I don't see what
Don't
good...
you want to go, darling?
Well, shoes are for walking, not sitting. You said so yourself. In a movie theater, you...
All right, we'll walk there and we'll walk home. How's that?
Perfect.
Come on, shoes. Let's hurry.
How you doing?
Me? I'm doing fine.
You're not walking very fast.
Oh, what's the hurry? Mickey Mouse doesn't go on till 8:43, and it's only 8:29. We've got plenty of time.
It seems to me you're limping a little.
Limping? Don't be silly. Why should I limp?
Oh, I don't know. I thought maybe your feet hurt.
My feet hurt? Why should they hurt?
That little A.
What little A?
Skip it.
Don't run, David. I can't run.
I'm sorry, darling. I didn't realize I was walking so fast.
David, you're not walking. You're running.
Darling, I'm not walking any faster than usual. You're just walking slower.
I'm not. I'm walking same as usual. This is just exactly how fast I walk when I walk with Bluff.
Well, it might interest you to know that I'm your husband and David Naughton and an architect. I am not Bluff, your dog.
Really? How do you do? David, we're almost there.
Just around the corner, darling. Your feet hurt?
Will you stop saying they hurt? You'll get them subconscious if you keep on suggesting it. Pretty soon they will hurt.
The power of suggestion. You want me to carry you?
I do not. Oh, aren't they beautiful shoes? I just love them. Donald Duck is so brave and so handsome. He reminds me a little of you, David.
Button up your coat, darling. It's gotten colder out.
Oh,
Am I walking too fast for you?
nope, just right.
It's faster than before.
Is it? Doesn't seem so to me. These shoes are wonderfully comfortable.
And they don't pinch anymore?
Not a bit. Say, how'd you know that they...
It wasn't very difficult. The way you were mincing along.
Oh, I was not.
You're a pretty good walker, usually. One of the things I like about you.
All right, they did pinch a little. But I took them off in the movie, and when I put them back on, they fit me perfectly. I feel as if I'd worn them for years. It's really quite remarkable, don't you think?
Maybe your feet shrank in the movies.
Maybe they did. Maybe the blood ran up into my hands instead.
Because you were sitting down.
These aren't sitting down shoes after all, are they?
No, you seem to be walking fine now.
Oh, what a wonderful sail it was. Say, it's awfully dark out, isn't it? I can't even see my nose. Or my feet.
Yeah. No moon tonight.
Hey, you two, wait a minute, if you don't mind.
David, is he calling us?
I don't know.
Hey, wait a minute. Please wait.
Guess it is us.
I'm awfully sorry, mister, but,
Yes? What is it?
I'm sort of embarrassed, but would you,
Yes?
Well, it's just that my wife, were you in that movie just now?
Yes, we were, but I don't see that...
And were you sitting on the left aisle, say around the middle of the house?
David, that's exactly where we were sitting. They were wonderful seats.
If you don't mind, I'd like to know what this is all about.
Yes. Now, I don't blame you. It's just that I'm a little, well, how should I put it? I'm a little embarrassed, too. It's sort of personal in a way.
Oh?
Personal? Claudia, what have you...
Me?
This wasn't my idea, but my wife, she said that probably you, well, I hate to ask you, but...
Is it something serious?
Oh, my wife is very upset. She says that you, madam, have walked out of the theater in her shoes.
What?
Why would I do something like that?
I don't know, but my wife takes off her shoes in the movies. Under the table.
Oh, they all do.
She took them off tonight.
And so did mine. There's nothing extraordinary about that. Women's shoes always hurt.
Mine don't now.
Well, the point is, madam, don't think I'm being forward, but are you wearing your own shoes?
Of course they're mine. They fit me perfectly. They're so comfortable.
Uh-oh. Darling, you'd better take a look.
David, this is ridiculous. Besides, it's dark here. I can't see.
I'll light a match. I know it's absurd, but you see, my wife is in the theater and her shoes disappeared. She figured that they rolled down under your seat and maybe you,
Here, I've got a match ready.
Well?
Well, darling?
My shoes, they're gone.
Well, I'll be...
Why, you little thief.
David, I don't see what's so funny.
I'm terribly sorry, but I'll have to take them back to her. She's...
Impatient, of course. Go on, Claudia. Give the man back his shoes.
This broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney. Consideration can't be measured by cost. It's usually a question of thoughtfulness, like offering your cleaning woman ice-cold Coca-Cola when you stop for the pause that refreshes. To be certain there's always plenty of Coke on ice, have your grocer or service station attendant put a case in the car next time you drive. Then you and your household helper can both work refreshed.
Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For ice-cold Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes.
From February 18th, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Would you thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. And don't forget that our shows are available through my webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and you can also contact me there through that webpage. You can also find our social media links. The webpage again, classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. And if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a show. You can hear them on classicradio.stream. You can also find them on iHeartRadio or Spotify or TuneIn or Spreaker or YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, all sorts of places out there. All you have to do is search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have yourself a great day, and would you tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the radio dial? Classic Radio Theater on your favorite radio station.